Joe Exotic with the Gerald Lane Interactive Zoological Park here in Wynnewood, Oklahoma. As most of you know, an arsonist hit our facility day before yesterday in the sometime wee hours and set fire to not only my recording studio, but the studio that houses our alligators, which caused them all to burn up and perish, boiling alive in a towering inferno of nothing but flames and fire.
He blamed me, he blamed Carol Baskin, he blamed a DJ in Tampa, he blamed anybody and everybody but himself.
I carry a gun for the simple fact that the animal rights people, and I'm talking about Peta and the Humane Society of the United States, crawl in a park in the middle of the night to poison the animals because they believe they're better off dead than in a cage. March 26th, I left this park one time in the year to go to a funeral in Chicago. They crawled in and blew up the alligator house, burning it to the ground, killing 7 alligators and 1 crocodile that all belonged to Michael Jackson. So we deal with a few nutbags. So between the hours of 7 o'clock at night and 8 o'clock in the morning, I live in this cage. Crawl my fences while I'm here and I'll cap you in the ass, and that's why I carry a gun.
But the bottom line is, 2 days before the studio fire, he and I got into an argument over the fact that I had a contract with him to make the reality show. And he was so upset, he made an immediate departure, said, I'm gone from the park for a couple of days. He changed the locks on the studio so I couldn't get in. And the next thing you know, the studio burned. So the FBI has a pretty good idea who did it. The day the studio burned, I dropped to my knees and I cried. I mean, there went my retirement. I knew it was gone. There was no getting it back. And I had put in a year living in this dirty, filthy zoo and putting up with Joe Exotic. And it was all gone in one fire.
Who do you think was behind the arson at the zoo?
I swear it's Rick Kirkham. But we'll see. I know he has a special coming out on Discovery. We'll see if any of that footage just shows up on his special.
Any motive there that you can think of?
Yeah, him and Joe were going rounds about whose stuff did the videotapes belong to, all the stuff that he's videoing. But remarkably, that when that fire happened, I was only management on the park. There's actually a safe missing with hard drives and a lot of external hard drives that have some of the footage on it. So there was a whole safe missing. So I'm the one that found the place when I got up the next morning. So when they broke in there and set the fire, they took the safe with them.
And so the guy they feature, Rick, says, he tricked Joe into signing away all his footage. Well, there's several problems with this. First, Joe was involved in massive lawsuits. So Joe never owned a single camera or a single piece of studio equipment. So he couldn't have signed away the copyrights to the footage because he didn't own anything in the first place, as far as the camera's concerned. Second, he tricked him into this contract. He was there probably 7 or 8 months shooting the internet show and trying to revive a pilot that we had already almost successfully launched the year before. He gets in an argument with Joe one morning, and he pretty much tells Joe as much, like, look, this is my footage, this is my studio, and this is what I'm going to do with it. And Joe basically, Joe tells him F you, F you, locks him out of the studio, denies him entry to this building, and fires him on the spot. And he leaves. And then the following day, the very building he denied him entry to burns to the ground.
Right.
Not only that, Joe doesn't like people, but Joe would never hurt his animals, and Joe would have never hurt his alligators and the offspring of Michael Jackson's that were there in the studio.